little bit and wait for the right spot, the right entry point to come in with a dangerous guy. He can do it all, and he can figure it out on the fly with the cerebral part I'm talking about.
Tank Davis has once again set the boxing world on talks, and this time it's not even a fight. Tank recently posted videos of him looking well shredded, muscles popping, shoulders broad, and not a hint of off-season softness in sight.
Oh, no belts, no money or nothing. Just put them in front of me, and I'll show you that I'm better than that.
His physical condition alone has the pros talking and maybe coming to the conclusion that this fight might be tougher for Roach.
Yeah, I mean, but again, they pick and choose, so it is what it is. And again, the media like to hate him too. So, you know, I'm going to catch a lot of that backlash too. But I mean, it is what it is. You know? I ain't really stunned that too much. I'm not worried about narrative. I'm worried about what I can do in the ring.
All right, brother.
Originally scheduled for December 14th in Houston, Texas, the clash with Lamont Roach had to be postponed due to a scheduling hiccup. Now, it's set to go down at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. But while the fight date changed, one thing hasn't boxing insiders are skeptical about whether Roach has any real shot against Davis.
People, so get ready for 2 fights. But, yes, and after I beat him the second time, I probably would ask the WBA to let me go up to 140 and fight.
Fans may be hyped to see this matchup, but the pros are raising their eyebrows. They're watching Tank's videos and shaking their heads, wondering if Roach knows what he's stepping into. 3 months out from fight night, Tank already looks like he could step into the ring tomorrow. Videos from his recent appearance show him looking locked in, shoulders thick, arms carved, and his frame every bit the picture of power and focus. Former champion Shawn Porter didn't hold back when he saw the clips. This isn't just good shape, this is I'm coming for a knockout shape. Tank is sending a message without even opening his mouth, and Porter isn't the only one taking note. Teddy Atlas, known for his blunt, no-fluff takes, chimed in with a warning: this is a guy who stays dangerous. You don't want to be the one facing Tank when he's this dialed in. Lamont Roach better have a plan or maybe think about getting out while he can. Even among fans, the talk is all about how sharp Tank looks. Social media exploded with comments like Roach is in trouble and Tank's already in fight shape, but while the fans are excited, the experts are cautious. Oh, this isn't just a physical mismatch, it's a mental one too. The consensus among boxing fans is clear: Lamont Roach has guts, but guts alone don't win fights, especially not against someone like Gervonta Davis.
Deliberate. You know, a lot of times at the beginning, people thought he was just a seek and destroy missile. They thought he was just a guy that got to you. And they thought that he would get over anxious. He don't get over anxious. He takes his time. He slowly closes those gaps. You know, inch by...
Roach is no slouch. He's a skilled, technical fighter with good defense and a solid chin. But even his biggest supporters can't ignore the glaring gap in experience and firepower. Take what Eddie Hearn had to say: look, Lamont's a good fighter, no question, but Tank is on another level. This isn't a step up for Roach, it's a leap. And that's where the danger comes in, and it's not just Hearn who's sounding the alarm. Hall of Famer Bernard Hopkins put it even more bluntly: there's no shame in admitting you're not ready. Tank isn't just a big puncher, he's smart, calculated, and ruthless. This isn't the kind of fight you take unless you're 100% sure you can win. Roach might not even make it out of the first half of the fight.
I'm not looking at Lamont the way that everybody else look at Lamont. Like, I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not. This ain't no Frank Martin. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. This is a real good fight.
For Lamont Roach, the stakes couldn't be higher. A win against Davis would make him an instant star, but a loss, especially a brutal one, could derail his career in a way that's hard to recover from. It's the kind of risk that has seasoned veterans shaking their heads. What makes Gervonta Davis so dangerous isn't just his punching power, though that's certainly a big part of it. It's the way he combines that power with precision, patience, and fight IQ. Tank doesn't just throw bombs, he sets traps, reads his opponents, and strikes with devastating accuracy.
My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them. Don't bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you.
They gonna celebrate with me. Yeah,
don't bring them.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know.
Former heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis broke it down: Tank isn't just a puncher, he's a finisher. When he smells blood, it's over. Roach will have to be perfect for every second of every round to survive, and that's a near impossible task against someone like Davis. This is where the concern really comes in for Lamont Roach. While he's a solid fighter, his style doesn't necessarily match up well against Davis. Roach tends to rely on his defense and counterpunching, but against someone like Tank, who can cut off the ring and force exchanges, that strategy might not hold up.
When the people who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get dumped. I'm gonna beat his ass.
He can't
Y'all
do
talking.
shit. Wait,
For
I don't
real.
give a fuck.
So y'all better be quiet.
I don't give
The change in venue adds an extra layer of intrigue to this fight. Moving from the Toyota Center in Houston to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn brings a different kind of energy. The Barclays Center is known for hosting electric boxing nights, and the New York crowd will be loud, passionate, and unapologetically honest. Veteran trainer Joe Gusson sees this as another edge for Davis. The atmosphere at the Barclays can be overwhelming if you're not used to it. Tank's been here before, he knows how to feed off that energy. Roach, he's stepping into unfamiliar territory, and that matters. For Roach, the pressure will be immense. He's not just fighting Tank, he's fighting the crowd, the lights, and the weight of expectations. And for a fighter with less experience on this stage, that's a lot to handle.
I'm gonna beat his ass. Y'all talking. For real. So y'all better be quiet.
The question on everyone's mind isn't whether Tank is ready, he clearly is. The real question is whether Lamont Roach should be taking this fight at all. Many boxing insiders believe Roach has the talent to become a world champion someday, but they're not convinced this is the right fight at the right time. Andre Ward, who knows a thing or two about timing in boxing, summed it up: there's nothing wrong with taking your time and building up to a fight like this. But once you're in there with someone like Tank, there's no going back. Roach has to be absolutely sure this is the right move for him. Even Timothy Bradley, known for his toughness in the ring and frequent comments on Tank, had his doubts. Tank is a guy who takes your confidence away before you even realize it. Roach has heart, but sometimes heart isn't enough. He's walking into a fight that could end badly for him.
What do you think of the announcement of the Gervonta Davis-Roach fight?
I think that, he's had a lot of criticism, but it's not a bad fight. Lamont Roach is a world champion. He's smaller than Gervonta Davis. The problem is not many people are aware of who he is or his ability, but he can fight.
Despite all the warnings, one thing is certain: this fight has people talking. The contrast in styles, the stakes for both fighters, and Tank's incredible shape have created a buzz that's hard to ignore. Whether Roach can rise to the challenge or if Davis will deliver another highlight reel knockout, March 1st is shaping up to be a night of drama and action. For Gervonta Davis, this fight is a chance to remind the world why he's one of the most feared fighters in boxing.
Got fought Tank twice. I lost both times. The first one was a little. No, both are. They on YouTube. You can go watch them.
Yeah, I got you. So, first one's a little fishy.
The first one I fought him at.
For Lamont Roach, it's an opportunity to shock the world and prove the doubters wrong. But if the pros are right, and they often are, this could be one of the most dangerous nights of Roach's career. Tank also recently shook the news again during the kickoff presser for his upcoming fight against Lamont Roach. The undefeated lightweight champion dropped a bombshell. 2024 will be his final year in the ring, with plans to fight 3 more times before retiring. Davis says he's ready to step away from the sport to focus on family and building his real estate portfolio.
Christmas wish list, 3 names that you want 2025.
I won't say.
All right. Who?
This announcement has sparked a wave of reactions across the boxing community. While some fans and insiders see it as a smart move to protect his health and legacy, others are questioning whether Tank is exiting the game too soon, potentially leaving money and unification fights on the table. Legendary fighter Bernard Hopkins dived deeper into this, but with a different perspective. The Hall of Famer has thrown his full support behind Davis, praising the 3-0 Xiaopa as a generational talent who has already accomplished enough to earn a spot among boxing's greats. Still, even Hopkins couldn't help but wonder if this decision is truly final, or if the allure of the ring might pull Tank back in.
Whoop his ass. I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds. But I'm always looking for a knockout, and if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock his head off.
With an undefeated record of 3-0-0, 28 knockouts, and titles across 3 weight classes, Davis has built a resume many fighters can only dream of. His star power skyrocketed after his victory over Ryan Garcia in 2023, a bout that shattered pay-per-view records with over 1.2 million buys and earned Tank a career-high payday of $50 million. But while the Garcia fight cemented his status as a global boxing superstar, some have criticized his career choices. The 136 lb catchweight and rehydration clause imposed on Garcia cast a shadow over the win for some fans, with Garcia himself claiming he was physically compromised. Despite the criticism, Hopkins sees Davis's body of work as undeniable. Tank did what most of the greats accomplished in their time. The highest goal, Hopkins said, "As far as I'm concerned, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer." Hopkins isn't blind to the ongoing debates about Tank's career. acknowledging that every era has its share of fights that could have happened, but didn't. But he believes Davis's achievements stand tall regardless. The timing of Davis's retirement plans has raised eyebrows, especially given the wealth of opportunities still available in the lightweight division. After his March 1st fight with Lamont Roach Jr., Tank could pursue unification bouts with the WBC champion Shakur Stevenson or the IBF title holder Vasyl Lomachenko. Either matchup would generate massive interest and potentially solidify Davis' status as the undisputed king of the lightweight division.
Just overall being something that he's not been in the ring with. I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubts himself. But I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So I'm a show.
When he talks about...
Alternatively, a move up to 140 lbs could open the door for blockbuster fights against Devin Haney or Teofimo Lopez. Both fighters have expressed interest in facing Davis, and the stylistic clashes would undoubtedly draw fans in and create big paydays. But Davis seems uninterested in lingering too long in the sport, with his announcement to fight 3 times in 2024, including the Roach bout. Only 2 fights would remain before his self-imposed exit. He's already hinted at naming his next opponent immediately after facing Roach, fueling speculation about who might make the cut for these final chapters of his career. For Hopkins, Davis's decision to retire young is more than understandable, it's admirable. As someone who fought well into his late 40s, Hopkins knows firsthand the toll boxing takes on a fighter's body and mind.
By that logic, if Tank Davis is weight bullying Lamont Roach because he pulls Lamont Roach up to 135 pounds, isn't every single fighter that's asking Tank Davis to fight at 140 pounds, aren't they trying to weight bully him too?
Tank is aiming to secure his money and leave the sport without taking too much damage. I respect that, Hopkins said. Every fighter has to walk their own path, and Tank understands his. Hopkins also suggested that Davis's recent life changes, including the birth of his son, may have shifted his priorities. Becoming a father has given Tank a new perspective, one where long-term health and family take precedence over professional accolades. However, Hopkins left the door open for the possibility of a change in plans. He's young, and he may still change his mind, Hopkins said. Something might happen in the next 1 or 2 fights, something spectacular. That makes him reconsider if he's going to do 1, 2, or 3 fights. Let's respect that and hope they're the fights we want to see.
Shit to Gervonta, it don't be coming out good for them, my nigga. I'm keeping it real.
He obviously is a superstar. But just because it's who he is, this don't change no program that I got going on. I'm here to win. I've been coming to win. And I think the same result will happen on December the 14th.
Whether Davis sticks to his retirement timeline or not, the next year will be crucial in defining his legacy. His upcoming fight against Lamont Roach Jr. is expected to be a showcase, but the real test will come in the remaining 2 bouts. Fans and critics alike are hoping Tank will use those fights to silence any lingering doubts about his career. For some, this means facing Shakur Stevenson, a fighter widely regarded as one of the most technically gifted in the sport today. A win against Stevenson would not only unify titles but also put to rest any questions about Tank's willingness to take on the best. Others are calling for a showdown with Vasyl Lomachenko, whose resume and skill level would provide the kind of high-stakes challenge Davis hasn't faced often in his career.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog. And he want to prove his skills against the dog.
And then there's the possibility of stepping into the ring with Devin Haney or Teofimo Lopez at 140 lbs. Both fighters bring unique challenges and big fan bases, making them ideal opponents for Davis's final year. As much as Davis insists he's ready to walk away, history suggests that retirement in boxing is rarely permanent. The allure of the sport, the promise of massive paydays, and the desire to cement a legacy have drawn countless fighters back into the ring. Hopkins himself admitted that something spectacular in Tank's upcoming fights could lead to a rematch or a new challenge that's too tempting to pass up. But even if Davis does step away for good, Hopkins believes his legacy is secure.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling you, you saying you going down in a night?
As far as his era, Tank has done enough, Hopkins said. Every era has its what-if fights, but Tank's path is his own. If he walks away after 3 more fights, let's respect that and celebrate what he's accomplished. Gervonta Davis's announcement has sparked debate, but one thing is clear: he's leaving on his own terms. Whether he fights 3 more times or changes his mind down the road, Davis has already left an indelible mark on the sport. For Bernard Hopkins, Tank's career is a testament to smart decision-making, talent, and timing. He's done what he set out to do, Hopkins said. If this is the end, then he's leaving as one of the greats of his generation, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No one's been able to solve Tank Davis. What do you need to do together with you and your team and obviously your son to score that victory?
We got a game plan. We're going to execute it, and we're going to get the
Move
results.
that head, bob and weave, bob and weave.
But perhaps the most interesting voice has been Conor Benn. Conor Benn isn't holding back. After a rough few years, the British welterweight has his eyes set on one of the biggest names in boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis. Ben firmly believes that Davis's upcoming opponent, Lamont Roach Jr., offers no real challenge and that he himself would be the ultimate test for Tank's mettle. Ben's challenge to Davis isn't new. Earlier this year, the two exchanged barbs on social media, with Ben calling out Tank for a potential catchweight bout. According to Ben, a formal offer of $15 million, approximately $25 million, was sent to Davis's camp, but the response was silence.
Make him work. Make him work.
He's just a mouthy little T, Ben said in an interview with Fight Hub TV, clearly unimpressed by Tank's bravado. He just wanted to pipe up and start talking. I told him, you keep talking. My promoter will get back to you in 48 hours, but according to Ben, Davis's team, including his advisor Al Heyman, shut down the idea before it could gain traction. Ben dismissed the situation with typical bravado, claiming Tank doesn't even understand the concept of negotiation. His boss didn't let him out to play. Ben quipped, he's an idiot. I don't even think he knows what negotiating means.
Gervonta Davis. This is the latest. Gervonta Davis and Conor Benn going back and forth to the point where Davis is just firing off 5 or 6 tweets. He's showing us screenshots where Eddie Hearn is dropping into the DMs and saying, do you really want this fight? Gervonta's saying, yeah, I do.
Davis is or Tank is go out there and goes, yeah, I'll fight him. He obviously saw something. He goes, oh yeah, I'm going to beat that guy. You know, I don't.
Ben's confidence is rooted in his belief that Davis's career has been strategically managed to avoid the toughest fights. While Tank boasts an impressive undefeated record and victories across multiple weight classes, Ben isn't buying the hype. His career has been very well maneuvered, Ben said. Fight Shakur, I bet he'll retire before he fights Shakur. For Ben, Davis's choice to face Lamont Roach Jr. only reinforces this narrative. Ben believes that Roach, while a respectable fighter, doesn't pose a legitimate threat to Tank's dominance. Lamont Roach is no challenge, he's just keeping busy, Ben said. Instead, Ben sees himself as the kind of opponent who could genuinely test Davis's limits.
Do I think that fight gets made? Listen, I agree to fight anyone. Do you know what I mean? Ain't my concern. You know, if 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 mil ain't enough, then stop hyping up on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? Stay quiet. Stay at your house with your little tag on your ankle, with your house arrest, instead of piping up on Twitter.
Known for his aggressive style and knockout power, Ben is convinced that his relentless approach would be too much for Tank to handle. One of the sticking points in Ben's pursuit of Davis is the issue of weight. While Davis has fought as high as 140 lbs, most notably when he stopped Mario Barrios to claim the WBA super lightweight crown, he currently campaigns at 135 lbs. Ben, on the other hand, is a natural welterweight, typically fighting at 147 lbs. To make the fight happen, Ben has proposed a catchweight of 143 lbs. I would even do a catchweight at 143, Ben said. I would make 143 for him. He won't take the fight.
Pick on guys at 35 and 40. Won't you mess with those guys at 54, 47 and 54? Mess with those guys. Call those guys out. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to, fight somebody, go up there and fight the ones that the best, the 54 pounders, the 47 pounders.
The offer demonstrates Ben's willingness to compromise and meet Davis halfway, but he remains skeptical that Tank will accept. Ben's challenge comes at an intriguing time in his own career. The 28-year-old has been working to rebuild his reputation after a positive test for the banned substance clomiphene derailed a highly anticipated bout with Chris Eubank Jr. in October 2022. After being cleared by the National Anti-Doping Panel, Ben is now free to fight in the UK again, and his sights are set on major bouts. He's currently negotiating a February clash with WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios, but he's made it clear that a fight with Davis would take priority. He's the one who wanted to pipe up, Ben said. Now he has the chance to back it up.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plant's wife, and say, who do you want next? And Tank's going to say, I want all those guys. And they're going to go to the press conference, and Elliot Setback's going to say, who do you want next? He say, I want all.
While Davis has faced criticism for his choice of opponents, there's no denying his skill and power. With a record of 3-0-0-0 and 28 knockouts, Tank is one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport, but Ben believes he has what it takes to end Davis's undefeated streak. I'm the real challenge, Ben said. Not these guys he's been fighting, not Roach. Me and for Ben, it's about more than just proving himself. It's about showing the world that he's not afraid to take on the best and that he's ready to leave his mark on the sport. But do you see Lamont Roach standing a chance against Tank? Let us know below and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates.